Hello and welcome to Southwestern School District's initial laptop training. My name is Brian Taman and I'm joined here by
Eric Whitmer.
And we're technology coaches for Southwestern School District. Here's our agenda for today's training. We have two sections. The first section will be on getting started. We're going to discuss responsibilities, the Ubuntu desktop, system settings, and the Wi-Fi networks.
In the second section, we're going to be talking about apps in the launcher, where we're going to look at Ubuntu searching, looking at the filing cabinet, web browsers, and also the software center within Ubuntu.
All right, so let's get started. First of all, when you first get your laptop, you're going to have to do an initial password setup. So we're going to walk you through that process. You're going to turn your laptop on, and you're going to make sure that you're choosing the learner user account, not the guest account. Make sure that you selected the learner account. And the initial password is Mustangs with a capital M. You're going to type that and press enter. And then it's going to want you to verify that initial password. So you're going to type Mustangs again and press enter. And now you're going to type a new password that you want to use. So this could be anything. Just make sure that you know what it is, and it's going to be something that you're going to remember, because nobody else at Southwestern is going to know what your password is or is going to be able to see it. So if you can't remember your password and we need to reset your computer, you would lose anything that you had done on that computer to that point. So any files you had downloaded, any pictures, any schoolwork you've saved will be lost. So make sure whatever this new password that you're coming up with is something that you'll remember. And if you want to go ahead and use your school password, you can do that, because we can help you remember what that is if you need to. So go ahead and type that new password, press enter. And then you're going to retype your new password and press enter. And that should log you onto your computer. All right, at this point, you should be on your Ubuntu laptop. So the first thing that we're going to do is just talk with you a little bit about some of your responsibilities with your new laptop. This is your laptop. It's going to be assigned just for your use, so we don't want you to share it with anyone. This is for your use only. However, or what this also means is that you can personalize it and make it your own. So that's pretty exciting. And a few rules. First of all, this is school equipment. So we want you to take care of it and make sure that it's charged every day, that you keep it secure. That means you're either carrying it around with you or you're storing it in a secure location, such as a locker or another area that your facilitator tells you about. You are responsible for its safety. Also, you want to make school-appropriate choices with your laptop. So that means things like wallpaper, the programs you install, the themes that you use should all be school-appropriate. And a great litmus test for this is if you would take what's on your screen and print it out and put it on a t-shirt, would it meet our school dress code? If it wouldn't meet our dress code, then it's probably not a good wallpaper or program to have installed on your computer.
Speaking of taking care of it, you have to make sure that it's kept clean at all times. We don't want you to put any stickers on the front, on the back, anywhere on the computer. And also, markers really don't go well with your computer, so please keep away from markers. That makes making sure that you keep younger brothers and sisters especially away from it, because they may have a tendency to use those markers on your computer. Now, if your computer gets damaged at all, there's a couple of things to remember. The first time that you damage your computer, you could pay up to $100 in repairs. The second time, it could be up to $200. And the third time, and any additional incident that takes place, it could be approximately $300 to repair it. So what Mr. Taman and I just explained to you, if you take care of your laptop, you're going to be okay. But your parents learned just the other night at back to school night about equipment protection plan that they can purchase for $30. So make sure you talk that over with your parents to see if that might be something that you'd like to possibly purchase. Finally, but most importantly, always act appropriately online and practice digital citizenship.
Okay, before we get started with the actual training, we just want to point out a few resources that are going to be available for you after you watch this training. So online, here's our Southwestern School District website. Down here on the left-hand side in the At a Glance section, there's a link for the Customized Learning student laptops. And this link is also available on our student portal page, which should pop up whenever you launch a web browser here at school or on your school device. And down here on the left-hand side in the help section is also a link to the student laptop training video that you're watching. So when you click on one of these links, it will take you to our Customized Learning website. And along the top here, there's a section for important policies and procedures. Here's where you can access all the documents that have been shared with you concerning this program, some laptop tips. There's the initial training video that you're watching right now is posted, so you can watch it over and over. And then we also have the resources that were shared with your parents at the parent meeting, the PowerPoint and some of the other handouts that were available.
Great to know where those are in case your parents might have missed that back to school night as well. You can show them where all those documents are, or maybe you lost them in your book bag on the way home and your parents are looking for them. So just remember those resources.
All right, so here we are on our desktop. So we're going to go ahead and start introducing you to your Ubuntu laptop. We're going to start up here in the corner, and then we're going to kind of work around the entire computer during this training. So the first thing we're going to look at is up here in the corner. It's this little gear icon. And this is where you can find out information about your computer. You can lock it. This is how you'll shut it down or log out. And then we're also going to first go into the system settings and explore some of the options that you have here. So this is very, typical computer settings here. As you kind of scan across here, you have some power settings, your mouse, your trackpad. You can adjust your sound settings. The first one that we're going to click on is down here in the corner, the user accounts. And we want to start to personalize your laptop so that it starts to look a little different than all the other laptops in your classroom. So we're going to start by clicking on the word learner, and we're going to go ahead and enter your name, your first and last name. And then click your profile picture, and you can choose a profile picture that you'd like. And then down here at the bottom, we want to check the box, show my login name in the menu bar, and that will put your first and last name on your computer. That way, 3 or 4 of these are sitting around the desk, you can pretty quickly identify whose computer is whose. Now we're going to go back to the all settings.
And we're going to take a look at the appearance. Right now you can see the appearance, if I minimize this a little bit, is this purplish reddish background. We want to change this as well so it's personalized for yourself. So the first icon right here is appearance. And we're going to go ahead and we're going to click on that. And on the right hand side as they're being pulled up, you can change this to any one of the appearances or wallpapers that you have. I particularly love this clock one. So automatically when I click on that, it appears, and now if I minimize this, and now there is my new background. So take a second right now and change that. The other option that you have before we go ahead and change that, over here is our icons. We can actually make them smaller or larger. Watch as I move this bar down here. Right now it says 48. And if maybe I want to move it down to 28, and you can see they're a little bit smaller. If I want to make them a little bit larger, I can drag them up and make them up to 50. So as you add more over to the system tray, that you might want to change that once in a while as well. So making sure to change the appearance that goes with it.
So you can pause this video at any time if you're watching it on another device and kind of set your own laptop up, and then go ahead and start this video back up again when you're ready to move on. All right, so we're going to click on All Settings to return. And 2 other quick things to share. You have your brightness settings, and you can actually adjust this brightness slider up and down. So that may help you with your battery life if you turn your brightness down. So if that's a concern, or you're trying to get your battery through an entire school day, maybe you forgot to charge it the night before, by turning your brightness down, that might help. And then the other setting we want to point out is your printers. You can install a printer at home on these devices, but you cannot use our school network printers here at school. So just be aware of that. But you can definitely install a home printer and be able to print at home. All right, so that pretty much covers the settings for now. So we're going to go ahead and close that. And we're going to continue working across this menu bar. You can see we have a clock with a nice calendar. There's your speaker, your volume and microphone settings, your battery settings. And then if we move across, the next one we're going to talk about is the Wi-Fi. So when you're here at school, you want to make sure that you're always connected to the student network. That's going to give you your best internet connection when you're at school. You may see a guest network and some other networks. These are not your best connections. The student is made specifically for your laptop. It's been optimized for these devices. So you will definitely get your best connection on the student. If your laptop is running very slow, this is a good troubleshooting tip of clicking on your Wi-Fi icon and making sure you're connected to the student network. At home, you can connect, or Starbucks or any other place, you can connect to other Wi-Fi networks. You'll click on this icon and choose the correct network from the ones that are available. And on a home network, you may have a password that you'll have to ask your parents for in order to connect your device to your home network. All right, so that's a little bit about the icons here in the system panel here. So we're going to move across and start talking about the launcher and these icons here on the left. So the first one here on the top is the Ubuntu search, and this is a great tool for finding programs and things that are on your laptop. So for example, let's say I was looking for a calculator. I can just start to type calculator, C-A-L, and you'll notice that it finds the calculator app that's installed on my laptop. And then a neat thing that you can do is, if this is a program you're going to use a lot, you can actually click and hold on that icon and drag it to the left and add it to your launcher, and now you have that icon there all the time. Another handy feature of this search is right now it's searching for applications, but you can actually search for different types of files. So here's the application. You can search for a specific file. So maybe you're looking for a homework paper that you are working on, or science lab report. Then you could search for that and search for the title or the document. You can search for videos, music. You can also search for images and pictures, photos. So you can kind of customize your search here at the bottom. So that's a little bit about the Ubuntu search.
Next, we have the filing cabinet right underneath the Ubuntu search. This is going to be the place where Mr. Taman just talked a little bit about documents and things, but this is where you're going to go if you need to find something and you just want to click in the folder. So if I had a document in here, I would double click on it, and all my documents might be inside here. So I can hit the home button again. If I downloaded anything, it would be there, my music and everything else. It's also over here on the side view. What I also want to point out is if you actually are going to charge your phone or put another device in here, that will most likely appear down here under the computer and connect to server section. So if I were to charge my iPhone right now and plug it into a USB, that would eventually pop up over here. So maybe you want to drag a picture in to make it one of your backgrounds. You could do that. But that's where you're going to look here, is in the filing cabinet.
All right, next we're going to talk about web browsers. You have two web browsers installed on your laptop, Firefox and Chrome. Because we do so much stuff with Google, we recommend the Chrome web browser. So we're going to go ahead and launch that one. Both will work. And also, it is a good troubleshooting tip. If you're having trouble with the Chrome web browser, or a website's not working right for you, definitely try Firefox. And sometimes with certain websites, they just work better on a different browser. All right, so when you first launch either web browser, you're going to be on our Vibe page or Learner portal. And this has most of the common links that you're going to use here at school. As soon as I go out, let's say I'm going to do a Google search for something, you're going to get this pop-up box as soon as you leave the portal page, where it's going to ask you to log in to the proxy web filter. And the proxy web filter is basically installed for your safety, and make sure that no matter where you're using the computer, you're getting filtered internet. We want to protect you from some of the bad stuff that's out there online. So this is the tool that does that. So anytime you want to surf the web, you're going to have to log in with your username and password, your regular school username and password, in order to get to the website. And that way, again, it just knows who you are at that point, and it can make sure that you get the appropriate filtered access to the internet. Once I'm on to Google, now I can go out and I can do my search. So maybe I want to look for summer pictures. And now you should be able to access the internet. If for some reason you get to a web page that you feel like should be unblocked, but the computer is saying it's blocked, you can go back here to the student portal, and if you scroll down under the, here's the help section we talked about earlier, here's tools at school, there's a Lightspeed login, and if you go ahead and log into this Lightspeed filter, and you can actually log in using your Google account, it may give you some additional access to the web. That's another quick tech tip. One other thing we'd like to mention is if you go to different websites and you log in and it prompts you to save your password, you can go ahead and tell it to save your password. The keychain password is that Mustangs. So if it pops up and says the keychain needs a password, that password is Mustang. But that's how you can go in and start to save your passwords for some of these different sites. All right, so that's a little bit about the internet. We'll keep moving on.
Okay, moving right along, I'm going to skip some of these icons down here, and I'm going to come down to this A right here. And this is where we're going to be able to install software, and this is Ubuntu software. So right now you can see that some of the things are installed, like this GIMP is installed, LibreOffice Calculator, and the LibreOffice PowerPoint type program is also installed. So some of these things are installed, but if I click down here, what Ubuntu has done is put the software into different categories as well. So if I click on education, and now maybe I'm in a math class and I need some help with some math apps, I can click on math and I can search through some of these apps that maybe I think might help me in my classroom become a little bit smarter and help me maybe solve some things. So I know in 5th grade we do some things with fractions, so maybe this fraction lab is something I want to do. I want to make sure that I read the description first to make sure that it's something I look at. I also take a look at the reviews to kind of see out of 5 stars how many people gave it 5 stars, or if a lot of people gave it 1 star, it's really not worth it. But if I want to install that, I'm just going to go ahead and hit install, and that's going to go ahead and take a second to install. It's going to ask for my password, and this is that same password that we had there. So I'm going to type in Mustangs with a capital M, and then I'm going to hit authenticate. Oh, let me try typing that in again. That's 3rd time's a charm. Okay, so now that app has been installed and it's showing me that it's been installed up here. If I come back here and I click the back arrow, so right underneath this X here, if I scroll down here, I just have all those other apps that are there. If I come back here and I hit the back button one more time, right here up top I have all my apps. These are my apps that are installed. And what I like to show learners here is that you can actually kind of remove apps that maybe you don't want. I'm not a big Solitaire fan, so I'm going to remove Solitaire. And I can go ahead and hit this, and then I can hit remove, and then Solitaire would be taken off of my computer. And again, I have to put my password in again. And then hit authenticate. So now Solitaire has been uninstalled. So you want to make sure that you check for those. To maybe you don't want something on your particular computer. You would want to go to the Ubuntu software icon, which is the orange one halfway, about 3/4 of the way down.
All right, so the last thing we want to show you here on the launcher is you have this real complicated icon here. This is actually a little folder, And we've put some of the apps that we really recommend to our learners in this folder. This is your apps folder. And when you launch it, you'll see again just a collection of apps that we think are really great, very educational, excellent tools for creating products and that sort of thing. So that's what those are. And then one other quick tech tip while we're here is on the left here, you'll notice there's this wrench. This is your system settings. So if I click on that, it will open up my system settings.
That kind of looks familiar.
Yeah. Now, we started with this up here in this corner where you have the gear. And we went to system settings. Takes you to the same thing. So we want to show you that if there's an icon here that you don't really need or you don't want, maybe you're going to put some other icons on the left and it's taken up a lot of room, you can right-click on this icon and unlock from the launcher, and that icon will disappear. So maybe I don't need the calculator after all, so I can unlock that one as well. All right. So we hope you've enjoyed this initial training on the Ubuntu. We're going to follow up with lots of other videos and resources as we go through the year to help you learn even more about your laptop. But this should be enough to get you up and running, and we hope that you enjoy your new device and that you learn a lot with it. And
Okay. And if you need any help at any time, please make sure that your teachers get in touch with either Mr. Taman, Mr. Whitmer, or Mrs. Krill, and we'll be happy to come in and help you as well. The best of luck this year with your new laptop.